Hey everyone, we definitely got some big news today. We got Bitcoin trying to break out, and more importantly, meme coins are going crazy right now. So let's dive into this here so you guys can see what's going on. Bitcoin overall is still in this uptrend. Nothing much has changed except for now we have a small breakout here, and we tried to push up here towards a level of resistance close to 71,200, and we pretty much got rejected off of this, to be frank. Now, even though we did get rejected pretty handily, I might add, things overall are still fine. We're still going sideways. That sideways movement always opens up the door for a lot of different altcoins. And while you do see a lot of altcoins moving today, not just meme coins, I think meme coins right now are where there's a lot of potential. So here's what I'm looking at right now, and here's how to find some more tokens that haven't actually popped up yet, because I think there's still quite a few tokens that really just haven't taken that next step up, and I want you guys to be able to get into those before they do make that larger pop. All right, so when we're talking about things like WIF having breakouts today, I'm looking forward to seeing if we can get back above that 336 level. If so, we can really start going up back towards 430. Really large moves here. That breakout, we're a few days late, but it's still happening, which is good news here. Bonk is up 13% today, another breakout, heading towards a pretty large level of resistance, so I would only be day trading this just for a little bit. I would not try to swing this up here for some type of massive play. I just don't feel comfortable with it right now. Things like Mirror have already curled back up. They're at a level of resistance right now. A lot of these moves are getting close to be done, or they're looking to take maybe one more move up. That big move right there is going to be questionable for a lot of these altcoins that we're talking about, which is why I'm going to be breaking down some other tokens that haven't necessarily gone up a little bit here. Book of Meme is getting back up there as well. You guys can see that massive order block. We're getting closer there. However, Floki and Milady token, these ones have the potential to break out. Last time we were talking about this, we talked about what happens if it breaks and if Bitcoin isn't doing too well, what would that next level of support be? And boom, Bitcoin managed to hold on. Right now, you're seeing Milady token come back up, and the same with Floki. Floki's up 20% right now. Milady's up 11%. Both of these have already moved quite a bit for the day. So again, you are sticking to day trades here. And some of those low market cap tokens that we like to talk about, MOG is breaking out right now after a very, very bad few weeks, as you guys might have imagined. And Turbo continues to go higher. I told you guys I sold some of my Turbo right here, then I put a small hedge position back in there. That hedge position is already at 50%. So I'm very happy with Turbo right now. Turbo is probably one of my favorite plays of this cycle, and I'm going to continue to dollar cost average into this just because I am sure it's going to make me some good money. However, when you see things moving up like this, like they have in the past, don't be surprised if eventually they do go back into a slumber. I will still be dollar cost averaging into those slumbers with small amounts of capital, not large amounts. So if you guys are looking to get into these tokens potentially before they kind of just pop off here, this is what I'm doing. I'm going over here to coinmarketcap.com. I'm just hitting the little meme button right here. Once you hit that button, you're going to see a lot of different opportunities. However, what I want you guys to pay attention to is this 30-day and this 60-day right now. What you guys are looking for is something that is not sky high for the 30-day. All right, so there's something like a Shiba Inu, a Dogecoin. Degen isn't doing so hot so far. Cat in a Dog's New World, a World New. That one is going to be an opportunity. Baby Dogecoin's going to be an opportunity. Cockino may be something you guys are looking at. Pups, when you see something like Pups down 61%, I would actually avoid that. Plus, that has a high cost, $12. That's horrendous. You don't want to pay something like that for a meme token. Meme tokens are supposed to be cheap, so when people actually buy a few, they can imagine, oh, if this hits $1, that's how much money I can make. If this hits $10, that's how much money I can make. If they don't have that type of effect, it makes it a little bit more difficult for them to go viral here. Now, Toshi might be something interesting here. This is going to be much more of a long shot here. But once you guys find out what you're looking for, you're going to see if there's a cold or a hard level of resistance. Cold just means it's already kind of breaking and flirting with it. Hard level for me is just like, hey, we haven't even touched it yet. We're right up against it, but we just haven't actually had that pop or any small move. So looking at stuff like Smog or anything over here that you guys can actually find on an exchange. Usually the one exchange that has all these tokens is going to be Blowfin, but I have a link to that down below. But for instance here, let's say we found something like a Smog right here. Okay, Smog is a low market cap, $38 million. Going to be hard to find. Most of you guys won't be trading this. But if I go over here to Smog on MEXC, you can see this one has been coming down. An immediate check would say probably not the best to go in here unless you want to do a $120 dollar cost average and then just wait. Until I see more information from this, this is not bottomed out, and therefore you guys are not going to buy it. then maybe that means we have to go back up a little bit more to see what else we can find. Milady token, I own quite a bit of Milady token here. Is it up against a level of resistance? If I can actually spell Milady. There we go. And here's something. Daily chart, it's come back up a little bit. This does have a very small number here, so the chart is gonna look kind of funky. But what I'm looking at is, again, we've had a positive move up. We found some type of short bottom. This is something where I'd be looking to do a little bit of dollar cost averaging and or do a long where I'm waiting for that move to continue going higher. Right now, the MACD is positive, the stochastic is positive, the RSI is positive, everything looks good, except for we are still on a bearish change of character. If Bitcoin continues to go this sideways move here, I do think you can look for some big moves. As far as this last move that we saw, that was about a 300% move. That kind of explains how little it needs to move before you make some good profit here. However, small amounts of capital for very risky tokens. I just want you guys to understand that going forward. Turbo is a day trader. Mirror is going to be a day trader right now. But even for things like Mirror here, which I believe I actually have on my watch list to make things a little bit easier. There we are. When they're at these levels of resistance and they're just trying to break out, you are going to see much more activity on the 4-hour charts, and you're going to see potential moves where they actually start to come back down. If you guys really want to trade something else besides meme tokens, because maybe you're just not a fan of meme tokens in general, you're not going to be looking for massive gains from a percentage standpoint, so you might have to up your leverage game. But what I'm looking at right now are things like AVAX is moving up a little bit right now on the 4-hour chart. Engine tokens up 11%, a nice move there. Matic's up 4%, not a lot, but again, it's at this massive level of resistance. Maybe you're hoping that a larger breakout can come to fruition, and then from there you can see Matic go all the way back up here to that old level of support around 86 cents. Those are the type of things you're looking at, but those in reality are something more of swing trades where you're holding for 2 to 3 days. And even Spell token over here, this one we talked about being a little bit easier to move back up. It's different than a Mana and a Sand, just because it's low market cap. Some of these are still making the moves, but they're only going up as far as resistance levels here. So make sure that if you guys are trying to trade, even in something like a pop cap, make sure that if they are by resistance levels, you feel confident enough for them to continue moving higher. At this point in time, I'm okay with doing more day trading than swing trading, like I said before. If you guys are buying spot or you guys do want to do swing trading, dollar cost averaging is probably still going to be the way. I know I was telling you guys about buying a lot of these tokens a few weeks ago, a month ago, when they were all real cheap. Now all of a sudden they're still kind of cheap relative, because the market caps are still like 200 million, 40 million, but you could have bought them at 80 million, 60 million, 100 million. So don't feel like you have to FOMO into it right now because you missed out. Mostly just continue to dollar cost average. I think you guys are going to have a much better experience out there in the markets. What people typically do is they buy in too late after a large move's already occurred, and then after that move happens and it kind of stabilizes, then they buy up here. They're like, oh no, then it falls down, then they don't keep on buying, and that leads to some really bad mental states for people out there. So just make sure you guys are trading safely right now. Everything looks to be good. I am preparing for my trip over to Austin, Texas here today. A lot of laundry, a lot of business here on my part, but I will be live tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific time. That way we can kind of hang out and talk about everything going on here, because I think there is a case to be made that Bitcoin has a pretty good week this week. But since I'm not going to be here, the streams that I do are going to be from my mobile phone and not at my computer like I normally would be doing. So maybe if I'm lucky, I can try to sneak along my laptop with me so I can do some recordings or something. But I don't think I'll be able to, just because of I don't have the microphone equipment. All this stuff is hooked up here to my desk now. But see you guys a little bit later. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and I'll excited to see what Bitcoin does over the next 24 hours.